Hi, welcome to this video. My name's Helen Amory. I'm here with the wonderful Pip Bray, and we're talking to you about a new program we have coming up called Conscious Parenting. So I want to start with telling you a bit about what this program is for, what its purpose is. And that is really fundamentally to help you become more grounded as a parent, so that you are parenting from love and clarity, which we all know, those of us who've had any relationship experience, but also any parenting experience, when we are in relationship and we're grounded and we're clear in ourselves, it is a whole different experience. And so that's what we're wanting to create through this program for you, the experience of inner calm, inner peace, so that those battles within ourselves are quietened down and aren't distracting us, because that's what enables you to stay clear and grounded when you're in relationship with your kids, with your partner, with whoever else is in that circle, in that sphere of parenting and raising these little people in our lives. And it's tough, you know. We had when I started out with kids, when I'd first had my kids, and there was NCT classes, and we had that support and we had friendship groups, it felt great to be looked after in that way. And then we move through and there's not that support, and we don't even necessarily talk to people around us because we're concerned if it's going to show me as a bad parent or my kids as terrible kids. And so this really is a place to bring all of our concerns and issues and insecurities and challenges and all the stuff, because way better than just even having a friend to talk to is to be in the conversation we're going to be having, which is to elevate you beyond your conditioned mind, to expand you outside of the ideas of how you think things should go or how it should be, and to really be in that space of fullness and fulfillment within yourself, so that you bring that into your parenting as well. Oh, and we'll do it in community. That's a huge part of it. Yeah, there's such a difference when we're doing this as part of a group and we see that, oh, all those things that I think are a problem, everyone else has a similar version of, perhaps with different aged kids, perhaps with a different partner, but we start to see that actually we've got universal opportunities for expansion and clarity and love. So yeah, that's the purpose, to really help empower you as a parent to be the most amazing parent you can be.
So I'm not actually a parent, but I have, over the last 10 years plus, seen how challenging it can be for all of my friends. And I've really held them in my heart as I've watched them just try and find their way. So I've really witnessed how parenting can be absolutely wonderful, and it can be enlightening and rewarding, and really everything that the parents hoped for. And I also have seen how it can be lonely, as you were saying, Helen, and overwhelming. Even I've seen my friends feel intimidated by it, challenged, worn out. And so the conscious parenting program that we're putting together is all about bringing people together to create a community of support around these challenging times. So we know that we're not even intending to hold a program that will fix anything. We don't really necessarily expect to have the answers to the questions that you wonderful parents will bring. But we know from the work that we do as coaches and supporting people, that if we provide the space and we create a community, then the support that comes from that is a huge part of the success of these programs. So maybe you just want your family to feel more connected and calmer and more collaborative as a unit, or maybe you're actually looking for tools that allow you to interact with your family in a different way. Or maybe you're just wondering, how do I stay in that space of spaciousness so that I can really trust the unfolding of life and not feel like that's something I can't reach when I'm being a parent. So we want to work as a team. So we want our participants to feel like they're part of the development of the program and massive contributors to how we all work together. And we want to see if we can help everybody understand what's going on inside themselves. That's really where all of the help starts, the where the wisdom is. So seeing what's going on inside, accepting it, learning from it, loving it, and through all of those levels, integrating it so that the inner conflicts that are going on in all of us can diminish enough so that they don't impact so forcefully on what's happening in the family around you. So we're hoping that this will transform family dynamics. That would be one of our real heartfelt hopes for this course. And that just finding that way of returning to your center and to finding the groundedness increases your capacity for consciousness, so that from that place you can let go of the guilt, you can let go of the uncertainty, you can let go of feeling like you're alone, and you can change your relationship with yourself and change the relationship with your family, and maybe even help your children find that place of groundedness so they can be more connected to themselves as well.
Beautiful, Pip. Yeah, I just really want to highlight that last part, because yeah, what you're saying about that inner exploration, settling that battle within ourselves so we are more grounded, then yeah, in my experience, our kids can't help but become more grounded in that presence. And then you've got an entirely different situation. So yeah, to bring that love, like you said, to ourselves first, it's huge, isn't it?
It is. And
yeah.
And we know that we, as the parents in the family, are establishing the kind of norms of how that family will interact, and the little ones will ultimately kind of end up copying the older ones so that they fit in. So if we can find that still conscious, calm place, we're kind of saying this is how we do things around here in this family, and then we naturally see that the children can try and follow. So we're looking for growth for self and then growth for family, ideally.
Yeah, I love it. So who's this for? Who's this program for? We see this in its most powerful being for parents of young people, children, babies, all ages, because there is such a wealth of value in that diversity. So although there might be a sense of safety within, oh, well, if I'm a parent of babies, I'd really like to be with other people who are parents of babies only, because there's a similarity in experience. That is an option and it's totally available. But when we were creating this and really tuning into what felt most impactful, most serving of your exploration, this diverse group with parents of babies, parents of toddlers, parents of primary school kids, parents of teenagers, parents of young adults, that mix of experience is just so potent for challenging our beliefs and our ideas, and for holding the mirror up to things that we've forgotten. So if you think about it, if we were to have a parent of a 24, 25-year-old and have a parent of a new baby, and let's say that new parent is 30, that 30-year-old is super close to that young adult's experience. And so there's an amazing cross-fertilization and reflecting back of, oh yeah, well, when I was 24, 25, I was thinking like that too. And equally, for those who are the parents of the older children, to be able to look back on the younger stages and bring that wisdom and that groundedness that says, oh gosh, yeah, I went through that too, and that's okay. So this is where we see the power of the collective within this conscious parenting program, because by bringing that diverse group together with all these different beautiful perspectives, all included, no right and wrong, no good and bad, no challenge too great or too small, no ideas of, oh, mine's not as important as your one, none of that. All the stuff, whatever it is that's coming up in your experience, is all welcome. And then that richness of not only just Pip and I, but the rest of the people you'll be in that community with will be part of that co-creation and that expansion into different possibilities and into that different perspective, which is what creates a different experience for you, a different world for you, and a different family for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we really it's a really an important part of it, isn't it, Pip, to have that that collective creation and exploration.
Yeah, and as you described that, I just have the word tribal kind of going through my head, because it is that the power that comes from having all of the ages and all of the experiences in one group is, we just know that that's where the wisdom sits. It sits in those people, but more accurately, maybe it sits in the space between them as they interact with each other. So we're really hoping to get a big, great diversity in the group, and also often the people that show up in the group are the mirrors to each other.
So,
again, the different ages and the different circumstances is usually really, really rich.
Yeah, beautiful. So Pip, should we share a bit about who we are then, and our journeys to here?
Yeah, and it follows on from what we were talking about, having a diverse group. So I'm coming to this program as a coach primarily, but I'm a constellator, and we'll do some other videos in the future to really help people understand what constellating is. But it's a technique that essentially allows us to look at the patterns that we hold in our past, and we use each other as representatives to do that. And I also work as a consultant, so in businesses. So it's quite diverse, the work that I do, because sometimes I can be working with individuals who want to understand the blockages that are coming up in their personal lives and their relationships and their families. And then sometimes I'm working with leaders of organizations that might have hundreds of people in it, and the leader might want to talk about the blockages to the business's performance. But for me, my first curiosity is always, what did that individual take on from the rules of belonging that were established in their family of origin? And that's really where constellations has its main focus. So my interest is always in, what have we decided that we must be loyal to, either in our own family of origin, or in our parents or our parents' parents, or even way back but there was some rules that were established that meant you need to be like this or do this or think like this in order to belong. And we're so dedicated to the need to belong as humans that that becomes our rules of interacting with the world. And sometimes that's hugely liberating, and it means that that's why we are successful, or we are happy, or we're grounded, or we're content. And sometimes it is the opposite. And so I'm just interested in, why are we all, to be honest, we all do it, I think, why are we maintaining our loyalties beyond the time that they are healthy and desirable? Because that's what means we show up in a way that might not feel great with our family. So in a way, it sounds a little bit grandiose, but in a way, I feel like if we attend to our patterns and we are curious about, why do I maybe think like that, or why do I feel like that, or why do I do that? If we can diminish those, or integrate them, or love them, or allow them, we're inevitably creating better futures, because it will impact on our relationships, on our communities, on our organizations, on our businesses, on society. And so it is a kind of way to change the world ultimately, because and it all starts with parents. And yeah, no pressure to the parents out there, but that's where there is a possibility. There's so much possibility in parenting. And so yeah, that's how I'm coming to this program, with that lens, and with that experience, and with that passion, really. So what about you, Helen?
Yeah, I would first of all just really like to acknowledge with you, Pip, that not only are you bringing all that amazing expertise as a constellator and all that passion for us understanding those patterns in ourselves, and like you, I love that phrase, what we're being loyal to, which inevitably is what creates the battles, because if we're trying to cling to an idea, then something's going to come along to try and wake us up out of that clinging. But I want to also really acknowledge that by joining us in this program as a non-parent, or whatever label we might want to use for that, that again is an incredibly valuable fresh perspective. So like I said before about the reason we're creating this with a mixture of parents and their children's ages, because of that diversity. It's the same with us, that we're bringing that diversity of one of us is a parent and one of us isn't, because again, you bring a whole different perspective to the situation, and as you said before, not with answers, not with, oh well, if I was a parent I'd be doing it like this, nobody wants that. But you bring that curiosity and that, yeah, just that outside objective viewpoint that challenges us parents in things that we just count as normal and that we just do because it just seems to be the thing you do as a parent, and that you don't even notice that that's what you're doing because that's just the world you're in. And so I can't wait to have that perspective from you in the conversation to help see those things.
Yeah, you've just reminded me as well, Helen, that often what happens when I'm running constellation workshops is that the client will be there because of their relationship or their current situation with their own children. And it takes my maybe neutral position on that to be able to look for further back to where this might have started. And I do really feel like that's something I can do maybe more easily, because I don't feel their pain as a parent in that moment, and therefore I can accept that that's what's the current outcome, but I want to go back and look where it came from. So yeah, I think hopefully that will be useful.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I'll share a little bit about me then as well. So I'm the parent half of the duo. so I've got currently 16 and 14-year-old, and yeah, it's tough. So in fact, it's tough to the point where when I look back at my career and with parenting alongside that, I loved going to work when they were little. I could not wait to go for it to be my Tuesday to Wednesday, Tuesday to Thursday, even days at work, to have a break, quite frankly, and to remember who I was outside of being a mum. And yet also, of course, that brought its challenges, because it comes with a whole juggle of a job and kids, and ultimately then self-employment and kids. And so yeah, so I'm delighted to be creating this and bringing it forward, because I think there are so many experiences that I've seen. My kids have been absolutely my best teachers in my journey of exploration. They're just so reliable. Nothing gets past them. They don't put on socially acceptable faces for us. They don't mask, they don't hide. They just mirror back exactly what's happening within us. And so yeah, so they have been a constant challenge, and therefore opportunity for me to grow since whatever 16 years ago was. I should know the year of my son's birth, shouldn't I? Since 2007. From the very first moment he arrived, the lesson around me not being in control. And then it has been an ongoing series of lessons after that, with supporting my increasing dropping of ideas, dropping of loyalties, like Pip talked about, and therefore coming into that greater alignment, greater love, greater acceptance, greater self-love, and therefore greater love and compassion and understanding of them too. So yeah, that's really what I want for everybody who joins us for this journey, for this exploration, in whatever way that shows up. Yeah, they say kids are great teachers, so there's going to be something. They're going to bring something for you to learn about, perfectly timed, so that it's just there for the time we need it for this program. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the respective aspects of the roles Pip and I are both taking in this. But where Pip talked there about constellations, my focus is on the conversation aspect of this exploration. So talking about our experiences, unpacking those, understanding some of the thought stories that we're being loyal to from an intellectual level, but also challenging them and seeing their untruth, in order that what lands in us is the insight that there's no freedom there, that there's no love there, that there is no clarity there, and that the clarity that we're looking for, the groundedness we're looking for, is actually the feeling of ourself. And the more we know that, the less we start trying to find that good feeling in the world, the less we try and make our children behave a certain way in order for us to feel better, the more we know that I am that good feeling already, and now let's see how I want to parent my children, instead of trying to innocently use them as a way to make us feel better. So that's my huge passion with everything I do, is that we're always looking to understand that we are the good feelings we're looking for, and to bring us back home to that remembering. So yeah, so really looking forward to it. Anything you wanted to say to that, Pip, before I?
Only that just listening to you describe that brought back some wonderful memories of when you and I have been on workshops together or on programs together, and it always is lovely that you share about the times when with your children drive you mad, and that elusive sense of knowing that it's all happening as a lesson, and that it's actually, you know, inside it's calm, is sometimes not there, and being able to be in that, and that's just, and I know that this will be part of the program too. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that in there, because I certainly don't have answers or judgments, and I know, because I've been in workshops and circles with you before, that neither do you. So yeah, I was just reminded of some of those conversations we've had in the past at times when it's been a bit manic.
Yeah, it's always unfolding perfectly. So yeah, beautiful. Okay, so let's talk a bit then about the practical stuff, the how we've created this so far, at least, because there is more to create clearly as we get into relationship together, and then some of the practicalities around dates and times and all that stuff. So in terms of the creation of it, what I've done before in programs, and which we're bringing to this as well, is that you, as someone joining the program, your challenges and therefore your opportunities, your issues and therefore your lessons will feed into the design of the program. So rather than us coming along going, right, here it is, and in module 1 we're going to do this, and in module 2 we're going to do this, we haven't set the topics, we haven't set the themes, because part of this co-creation is that we hear from you first. You feed into us first and tell us, here's some of the stuff that's really on my mind, here's some of the stuff that really bothers me, that I'm not happy with, that keeps me awake, that I have concerns about. All of that stuff, you tell us, and then we collect that for everybody on behalf of the group and use that to then structure the sessions as we move through in a way that makes some kind of sense in terms of that progression along the journey. And so what that means is that we're going to kind of have a theme per month. So from all that input from you, each month has a theme, and within that month we have a conversation-based session and a constellation-based session. So the conversation one led by myself and the constellation one led by Pip, all of which is with the intention of uncovering our hidden patterns, uncovering our hidden loyalties, uncovering our hidden psychological confusions and conditioning, in order that we can see it more clearly, in order that we can fall deeper in love with all of our experience and understand why these patterns keep showing up in our lives. So both the conversation and the constellation will be inviting you to drop deeper into an exploration of yourself. Perhaps particularly to highlight the conversation isn't just let's have a nice chat over a cup of tea, which isn't wrong, like that's a really nice thing to do, but that's not the purpose of this program. This program is an invitation to go deep, and because it's only when we go deep within ourselves and understand ourselves that we can then be there for other people. We can only go as far with others as we've been willing to go for ourselves. So it is an invitation to come deep into inquiry, into understanding, into deep love, really, with everything that we're experiencing. So we have this alternating pattern with each theme for a month, a conversation and a constellation. And between our calls, we have community space. So that place to chat and ask questions and share, oh my goodness, I've just realized this, and to share, oh my goodness, I just had this experience, and as well as to go, oh my goodness, it's all going wrong, I don't know what to do with this. It's that place for everything to be brought, as well as, you know, Pip mentioned about tools or resources, or it's also going to be a place to share all of that, so that together you can go, hey, I find this thing may or may not work for you, but here it is, like it totally has helped me, so here's an offering. And of course all of our calls will be recorded, so the power is in being in community. You will absolutely get the most from this by being there on the calls, being in it, being committed to it with your fellow explorers and with us. Of course, if you can't make one or two, then that's going to happen and the recordings will be there. But I would really say this isn't a program to come and get the most of by thinking, oh, I'll just get the recordings. It is a program to come to with commitment to being within that community and being part of it. because you'll get more from it. You know, why would you not want that? Why would you not want that? So we kind of would invite wholeheartedness as you come to join us for this, because when you come with your whole heart and your full commitment, that is the rocket fuel, that is the booster power, that is the magic to transformation happening. So yes, recordings will be available, but I'd suggest that they are primarily for exceptions and primarily for, I've got to watch that again because that was amazing. So yeah, so that's kind of that's the main stuff to tell you about with the program. We're going to be talking more deeply about the conversation aspect and about the constellation aspect in other videos, like Pip mentioned. So we'll be back to tell you more about those if you want to know more about those. And just to give a top line, Pip will say a bit more about this, but we're also going to run a taster course. So we want to give you a sample. We want to give you a sense of what this could be like if you come and join us. What kind of experience are you going to have? How is it going to feel? What will it be like on the other side of having been in conversation and been in constellation together? And so we're running that the 4th to the 6th of July this year. So if you want to know about that, be sure to be on my mailing list, on WildFig mailing list, subscribe to my newsletter. I'll put the link in the description. Keep an eye on us on social media, reach out to us, whatever you need to do to make sure you're in connection and knowing what's happening. But yeah, if you're interested in this, you'll really want to be in that taster course to get a sample. So yeah, do you want to say a bit more about the practical stuff, Pip?
Yeah, so as Helen said, taster course is July, and then the actual 6-month conscious parenting program will start in September, and all of the details will be on WildFig website. So we'll start on Thursday the 7th of September. That's when we'll kick off the actual program, and all of our sessions are going to be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Which was a kind of tough decision, really, because how do you find the right time for parents to really be able to come and be present and part of a team and part of a community? We believe that hopefully we've got that about right after dinner, before bedtimes. After that, we'll meet every 2 weeks. It'll always be the Thursday evening. It'll always be 7 till 9. We'll take a bit of a break for Christmas, we'll end about 7th of December, and then we'll restart 4th of January, and we've got a few more sessions before we complete on the 22nd of February. As Helen said, the format is, we'll have session 1 will all be about introductions, building the community, understanding who is in, and a bit about ourselves and everybody who joins us. Session 2, we will have identified our first topic by coming together in session 1 and sharing all of our current challenges and focus points. Session 2 will be a conversation session about that agreed theme, and then by session 3 we'll do a constellation on the same theme, and that will be our repeating process. So we'll then have identified theme 2 and we'll go into that. So yeah, it's a really good chunk of time, I think, and my experience of running these programs with similar focus and similar size groups is that gives the group really time to connect on a level that never really diminishes again. These groups tend to have gone through such a personal transformation that they've experienced on multiple levels because of the fact that we're using conversation and constellations, that there's a real special place then in their heart for each other, and they tend to stay connected and get so much more out of it, way beyond mine and Helen's involvement, which is exactly what we want. And then yeah, dates, just a reminder, dates for the taster course. So if you want to check in, kind of dip your toe and just test out, like, do I really want to be in a conversation group or a constellation group, just to get an idea of what that is like. July the 4th, 5th and 6th, so that's a Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday evening, 7:30 till 8:30 p.m. And yeah, the idea is that each of those sessions will give you a little taste of what we are intending the program to be like. We can already start gathering ideas on themes as well, which is helpful for us, and then we can answer any questions that you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I guess as it is a taster course, because it'll give a little sample, and it will most likely be a bigger group who do that taster course. Because when you were talking there about the group that come together, you know, we're looking at around well, maximum 15 people in that group who join this program. So it is, you know, I'm sure you've been on programs since we came into this online world. You've no doubt been in programs which are big, where you're one amongst hundreds of people. This is so not that. This is close, intimate, connected, deep. Like Pip said, you know, you will forge relationships here that will impact you and which will stay with you in powerful ways as you move forward. So and that was important to us to have that kind of close and intimate group rather than, and community, rather than a big sprawling loads of people thing. So and so for that reason, and everything that we've said already about the potential of this program to really transform your inner experience, and therefore your experience of your children, of your partner, of everybody around you in that parenting world, that parenting dynamic, we are asking for an investment of your time, of your commitment, and of your money, because all of those are part of what I said before about, you know, the you come with your whole heart, you come with your commitment. That is where the magic happens. So on the back of the taster program, the taster course, there will be a time limited early bird deal. So literally only for a couple of days. So do get on the taster course if you want to take advantage of that, because it will help you with your decision, and therefore you will know if you're a yes or a no in terms of taking up that early bird option. And then so that is going to be at £3,000 for the full 6 months, or £500 a month. So for that early bird only, the monthly payment plan is the same total amount as if you pay 3,000 up front. After that point, it's going to move to 3,300 as a one-off payment, or if you want a payment plan, it'll be £600 a month. So there is then an extra charge if you don't get it through the early bird for both the full price, and then extra again if you pay monthly. So again, the taster course and taking advantage of that early bird by knowing that you're a yes at that point is awesome from an investment of money perspective. Why would you not want that? And if that doesn't feel right for you at that time, if you want to stay connected to us a bit longer, if you want to find out more, if you want to settle into it and take your time and reflect and ask us questions, and then pay the full price, then cool, then you do that. There's no right or wrong, but we want you to know the options that are available for you. So Pip, what else is there before we wrap up and say goodbye?
I think there probably are other things that we aren't really aware of, so I guess it's just to offer the opportunity for people to ask us any questions. I think, yeah, we're really excited about putting this program out there and receiving the themes and the ideas that people have got on how we can be of most service to parents. So yeah, if people have got any questions, they can email us, either of us, or message us directly, of course. And wherever we're posting this video, so on Circle or on YouTube, we'll put in the contact details. But yeah, we're happy to receive any thoughts or questions from anybody who's interested.
Yeah, wonderful. So let's leave it here, and yeah, we look forward to hearing from you with whatever you'd like to know, whatever you'd like to ask, and we're very up for having pre-conversations to all the other conversations that are available. Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Pip, for being in this with me. Lots of love.